Now, I explain step-by-step process to convert a plain dataset into an Excel table. For that purpose, the first step is that what we learned in the first program. You create this plain dataset, and what are the contents in that? You see that there is a table title. Just you put the same name, not technical and all that. Whatever wisdom, stationery, cash bill, etc. and all that. That is a table title. Whatever are there in the next row are the column headers. Column headers, what are they? Serial number, item name, number of items, rate per unit, rupees, total amount and all. Then thereafter 10 rows we are creating for 10 items. You can copy them, nothing wrong in that. If you want to give different items, you give. And one more thing, very important thing I have to tell you, actually whenever you are giving prices and all that, you have to apply your common sense. There is a eraser. Eraser means it may be 3 rupees or 5 rupees. You should not give 20, 30 and all that. It's a pen. Okay, pens may be 1000 rupees also. What is the normal rate that you give? That represents your common sense. Suppose some notebook, if some pen is 1000 rupees, or pencil 500 rupees, like that if you give, prima facie you are documenting your ignorance. That means people understand you don't have any common sense. That's why whenever you are giving prices, not only in this context, anywhere you are giving prices, reasonable prices, what are the market prices approximately, you can give, but don't give abnormal prices and all that. Okay, thereafter, how many columns are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns are there. First one is serial number, second one is item name, third one is number of items, fourth one is rate per unit, that to rupees, units always you must be. Last one, we keep it blank because total amount we are not calculating and all that. That means 4 columns we put the input data. Input data means what we give. That you have to understand. We are not filling with the output data. Output data, how you can fill by using a formula and all that, I will tell after a minute. Okay, first you create that. Actually, in order to create that and all that, you must complete the first program. If you directly come out of your over smartness and all that, you have to pay price. Next, you come to that. Here, insert row. Actually, already I told you one thing. This is the table title. Many people do not know this is the table title. Immediately after that, column headers are there. Actually, in this case, these are column headers. One blank space should be created. Why it is? Actually, whenever a table is created, Excel takes the first row is itself is the header. First row itself is the header. So actually, this is for us. This is a normal convention. That's why we are giving. This should not be. This should not be the header of the table. That's why this is the table title. So one line you have to create. That's why already I explained how to create a blank row. One blank row you create. Appropriately to do that. Actually, if you want to create a blank row here and all that, here you have to put that. You have to put which cursor? Cursor, row, resize cursor, column, resize cursor. Always use correct names and all that. By that, you can create a blank row. Then how it will be? This is the title header. Thereafter, one line gap is there. Then you are here. This is the column headers. Okay. Then that is the second step, the very most important step and all that. Okay. Next, we see that because of that step, what is happened? Then after table title, one blank row is created. Thereafter, whatever table we wanted, everything is there. That only, the other part only is converted into table. Okay. Then the first row, that is column headers row, is converted into table headers row. That point we have to understand and proceed. Thereafter, we have to create a table. If you have to create a table and all that, you have to select which part you want to convert table. Ignore this. Don't take into consideration. Then you see that according to my table, this is B4 and this is F14. You may give differently depending on the placement. the range is decided. In my case, it is B for F14 and all that. First, we have to select everything. Select everything. Thereafter, one command is there, control. Menu command is there. Now, shortcut command only I am showing you for the sake of simplicity and all. Then you press that. You press. When you press that, one dialog box is open. There it talks about this. It talks about this. It talks about that. It asks you, should I convert this one? Should I convert this one as the table? For that purpose, it gives slightly dollar symbol B, dollar symbol for, and dollar symbol F, dollar symbol 14. Like this it comes. What is dollar symbol and all that? Actually, in the last concept in this group, I am going to explain. Don't worry about that. Just you see that this one is represented like this in the dialog box and all that. Then you see that. You see that. And here extra dollar symbols are there and all that. That represent constants. Constant by constant and all that. Later I tell you. Then once you say okay there and all that, obviously it is converted into table, Excel table. That you have to understand that. Actually, after conversion of the table, how it looks, that is very important. So whatever is there so far is the plain data set. Now it is converted into Excel table. Now we see the look, see the elegance and all that. I didn't create the zebra lines and all that. Those are automatically created by the table. That is the first already I explained to you. Elegant look, a professional look comes and all that. For that you need not do anything. Automatically created. That is first change. Second change is filter buttons are there. Just in the column header you see that filter button is like this. Actually, this is useful for sorting data, filtering data. That is advanced feature. Don't worry about that. Later we learn. Suppose right now in this program you are not going to use. Then simple. This is a toggle key. Toggle key means two options are there. If you want to keep it, keep it. If you want to remove it, you do that. If you want to reinstate, again you do that. So remember the command and make a trial. Suppose if you want to keep it, Control Z, you type and it is undo. Okay, that point you have to everything. Simply listening or reading you don't get. Understand? You experiment hands on. Car driving, you should learn car driving. Simply sitting in the driving seat and that. Simply seeing somebody driving, you cannot learn anything. Okay, this is the final table. Actually, what is missing is that total amount is not yet calculated. That point that now we do in a different fashion. In the first program also we did that. How we did? We using cell references we calculated in the first row we put it. Thereafter we dragged it down. Automatic comes. So here much more smart. That we have to understand. Now, if you see the table, everything is good, but you can find one lapse. What is that lapse? This is the title header. Actually, for the entire table, color is automatically created. Blue zebra lines have come. Everything looks good, but it looks in white. It is not in color. That's why it is like odd man out. So we have to explicitly give color to this. Which color you give? Normally, blue family is there. That's why you give some blue instead of light. You give it a black. It's a dark one you give. For that purpose, in the previous program itself, we learned. Go to home tab. In the home tab, font group is there. In the font group, fill color is there. Font color is there. Then all that options you apply. Then you give it. One thing I am telling you, I can explain it in detail and all that. If I take more time and all that, many students feel boring. That's why whatever I explain, whatever commands I explain, the previous program, just I give a hint, but I don't explain in detail. That point you have to understand. That's why I told you, be perfect over the first program, and then many commands will become routine. So with every program, as I told you, you get practice for the older elements and you learn new elements. In that way, for title header, you give color, but don't give different color. That family only if it is blue, dark blue you give, red green, dark green you give, like that and all that. If you give red and all that, it looks odd. Okay. Always remember one thing, not only getting results and all that, your program looks elegant. Okay. Thereafter, now total amount column is still blank. Earlier, in the first program, how we created the corresponding cell reference given, and what cell references we multiply, then we got the result. Thereafter, we dragged it down. Here, we follow certain smart method. Now, we see that this is the formula bar. In the formula bar, whenever you are writing formula, this is mandatory. You should start with this. Here we don't write cell references. Instead of that, we write labels. Labels means just you strictly follow some procedures, the syntax. You should strictly follow the syntax. Then I show it to you. Actually, what is the formula? That is number of items into rate per unit. That is the formula. That is mathematical formula and all that. Now, what to do? First, you have to select F5 according to my table. F5 means where the total amount, the first cell you have to select. There only the amount is displayed. So that you do that. This is, let us say, this is F5. You select it. Thereafter, you write formula. Don't confuse. One or two times, if you write that, please write it. Don't be lazy. Please write it. By that, it registered in your brain. Here, little complication is there that you have to learn. Actually, whenever you are writing labels instead of cells, then you have to write. But little more is there. What is that? You have to write square bracket. Here, square bracket, opening square bracket, closing square bracket, opening square bracket, closing square brackets. That you have to write. Thereafter, at symbol you have to write. At. Here, at symbol you have to write. Normally, this is enough. This is enough. But one clause is there. It is suppose, if it is suppose number, only single word is there, number, then this syntax is perfect. And it is just a rate is there, then this is perfect. But if the label, any spaces or symbols or anything is there, then what you have to do? Then one more, you have to enclose it another square brackets. You have to enclose it another square bracket. Be careful. Now, in this manner you have to write. Otherwise, it leads to error. One clue is there. If you make any mistake for this color is changed. Actually, if you write correctly, this color is changed. Color is not changed means something you have missed. And always one precaution I am telling you. For every opening bracket, one closing bracket should be there. Normally, beginners commit these mistakes. For this opening bracket, another closing bracket should be there. And here, multiplication symbol. This is star symbol. Here, one opening bracket is there. Bracket is there. One closing bracket is there. Okay. Now after that, one opening bracket is there. One closing bracket is there. One thing I am telling you, actually, if you one time you learn, at that time, if you don't learn it properly, you have to waste present time or future time. So whenever you are learning this element, because everywhere, future any program table if you create, then you have to write formula that. Actually, in the next program, this type of 10 elements you write. You develop a project, understand? So one time, if one simple principle, master one concept at one shot, that principle you adopt, you become a professional. Save your future time. If you don't learn it now, in future you have to waste your time. So prevention is better than cure. That point you have to understand, and this syntax you have to write. But once it is registered in your brain, it will become routine. Then once it is calculated in F5, whatever is the amount that comes. And the magic is, rest of the cells you need not drag and drop and all that, automatically those are filled. That is the first automatic feature you can experience here. And many things are there. Later you can find that. And this is the first automatic feature. In the previous first program, from here, we dragged it, then only it came. But once you create a table, that is not required. So now see the table. Actually, because of this formula, whatever I explained and all that, 455 is calculated. The rest of the column cells are automatically filled. That's the power of automation. You can experience that. Okay. Now let's come to finally. Well, let's come to total. Total. For that purpose, what we do after 10th, after 14th row, we create another row. This is for grand total and all that. Grand total you type. Actually, for this purpose also some auto process is there. Earlier, that means plain data set and all that. You selected everything and all that. Some you use. Here, the simplest thing is you select where grand total you are expecting. That you select. This is F15. You select it. Thereafter, in a home tab ribbon, you can find at the end editing. Editing is there. In that, one symbol is there. The symbol, this is like a M shape. This is called sigma. This is auto sum. Auto sum. Actually, in net select and all that. Last column you select. Where you expect a grand total and all that, you select this cell and press this one. This one automatically here 10 totals are there, and the totals of all this as a grand total it is displayed here. You see that this is also one of the automatic feature. So now finally see that this looks fine. Actually, one if you want to make it more elegant and all that, grand total and grand total amount, you can give a different color because it draws the attention of the viewer. That you can do that. So now through this everything I explained. If I now already have taken around 20 plus minutes and all that, so most of you do not have patience. If you don't have patience and all that, you never evolve with a program. One time only you are learning. In a college, one semester period, if you learn also, you may not do that. And following this next program, next concept, then I am giving a bigger table with many operations and all that. If you complete that, you feel like it. While doing it, you think like a professional. After completion of that, you feel yourself as a professional.